Hello, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to this talk show, the Integrated Life talk show. This is Bharti Nayak and Sagar Amlani, and we welcome you to one more episode of the Integrated Life show. And we are very, very excited to have all of you on this show. And we would really want to know from which part of the world, where you have logged in from, which city you have logged in from. So please put your city name, your name in the comment section and say a hello to us. Let's see where you have logged in from. Yes, Sagar. Let's
Hello,
welcome.
welcome everyone. So, as Bhati rightly said, today is the third episode. Well, technically the fourth, but serial wise, the third one, because today we are talking about celebration. But before we dwell into that, let's understand or let's have a recall of what we discussed in episode 2, which is burnout. I'm sure all of us have faced burnout some or the other time in our life. But what exactly is this burnout? What are the symptoms? What causes burnout? We've discussed it all in the last episode. I'm sure you have enjoyed it. In case if you have missed it, in case if you have thought of checking it out, this is where you can check it right below the integratedlife.co.in. Now, why did we talk about burnout? Is because burnout not only affects your productivity, but it also impacts your elements of life, the elements of life which helps you to build an integrated life. You need to be proactive enough to ensure that your burnout is mitigated. How can you be proactive? We have shared the checklist with you. If not, when you are checking out the website, click on to episode number 2 and you can download the checklist. Now, when we talked about burnout, we said the symptoms, we shared the different symptoms that causes burnout, the symptoms. If you are online and joining us, do you remember those 7 symptoms? If yes, share them with us. What happens when it causes burnout? Does it cause lack of opportunity, appreciation? Does it take away remuneration? Does it cause lack of sleeping? Does it cause you to be behaving cynical? Are you always becoming irritated? Now, yes, when you are looking at all this, these are the symptoms of burnout, and this is what we discussed in the previous episode. But today we are talking about celebration, isn't it, Bharti?
Yes, absolutely. And when we were discussing about burnout last episode, I received a couple of messages, feedback from our friends, and one of them, she mentioned that I didn't even realize that I'm actually going through that stage of burnout. So when she went through the entire episode and she really watched and listened to the symptoms and identified in her life that what is it that is happening with me, it really helped her. So I'm glad that we are receiving such feedback and we are also getting good progress that is happening with this integrated live show.
Not only
So
that, I received a feedback all the way from Malaysia. I received a
uh-huh.
feedback from someone in London, and I also received a feedback from someone in Singapore.
That is absolutely amazing. And that calls for a celebration, isn't it? Because these are those,
Absolutely.
yes, because these are those small, tiny, joyous moments that we really want to capture. The moments that we want to remember. These are those intense feeling that we really want to store it somewhere deep into our heart. And that's why we celebrate. And these are some of those precious pearls for which we want to preserve it for our life. We want to keep it in our memories. And that's why the celebrations. So, celebrations are those tiny little moments that we capture in our life. And these celebrations that helps us in many ways. And of course, we are going to unwind all of these in the subsequent minutes that we go in the integrated live show. So when I say that what are celebrations, These celebrations is what I would like to capture. And there are beautiful, interesting stories that I'll share today, that what made me realize that why celebrations and what are these about. Yes, Sagar. So I would like you to tell all of us that what is celebrations for you? What are celebrations for you?
For me, celebration is about, creating that happiness with the loved ones, with friends, with someone that I care about. Not only that, but sometimes happiness is also, or celebration also, is about, just giving something to someone that I don't know. For example, we celebrate birthdays, we all celebrate it. Well, we thought of celebrating our kid's birthday in an orphanage. And the best part was we've celebrated all 5 years of their birthdays in an orphanage. And not only celebration was fun, but kids started appreciating what they had. They started, nurturing that attitude of gratitude, the feeling of, belongingness, and understanding that everything in life is not by default. Someone has worked for it, someone has taken care about it. And that is what celebration means to me: passing of happiness, sharing of joy, sharing of emotions. And that's celebration. So every day of life is about celebrating, because every day you wake up and every day you have a new life.
That's so beautiful. And celebrating those joyous moments with some strangers, with some people, uh, which are not who are not part of our family, and we make them inclusive in our life, inclusive in our family, and that becomes a much more larger happiness that we can distribute, that we can share. Such beautiful moments, Sagar, that you capture. And I really wonder why people wait for such moments to happen, why people wait for some special days to come. I'll tell you a very interesting example. I was working with Tata Consultancy Services years back when I was an employee, and every month we have celebrations because somebody's birthday is there. It's a large company, so many employees. So every month we have at least 5 or 6 people, their birthdays falling in the month. So the HR brings a cake and we cut the cake, and that's like a nice, joyous moment for some time. Now here is my colleague. I was noticing him what he did when he entered the office. When he came with a nice bouquet in his hand, and he was very happy. He wore nice dress, and he decorated his place, and he kept that bouquet in front of his desk, and he was really taking care of the desk. And I noticed, and I asked him, I said, I know it's your birthday, and I came to wish you a birthday. I'm wondering who gave you this bouquet. I'm sure somebody special gave you this bouquet. And
I'm
he
sure.
laughed, and he laughed at me, and he said, "You know what? I am that special person. I gifted myself." I said, "Really? You gifted yourself a bouquet? So you went actually to the bouquet, to the florist, and you asked for a bouquet, and it was a name tag, everything was mentioned as if somebody has given." And I said, "Really, you did that?" And he said, "Yes. Why I should wait for somebody to make me feel special? Why can't I make myself feel special? Why can't I celebrate my own happiness? Why can't I bring that moments of joy in my own life by myself?" And that's what I did. And after that, the moment I feel happy, I share that happiness with everybody. So he brought load of sweets from mithai wala, and he started distributing to all the street children. Now when I saw that, I was so happy, and I said, now that's an amazing way to celebrate.
Celebrate, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I would want to know, Sagar, from you that why is it, or why people celebrate, or why is it that they don't celebrate or they wait for the special moments?
Well, let me answer the first one, that why celebrate, right? I'll talk from the perspective of how it impacts productivity and
Yeah.
what kind of impact it has on a human mind. So there was a study conducted by Harvard. which did a complete survey, and the results were amazing. People who celebrated quite often, people who celebrated small wins, had actually 12% more productivity. Their life expectancy was increased by 3 years minimum, 10 years maximum. Now, I'm sure it's not only celebration that would increase the life expectancy, because some people might say that, yes, I celebrate and go to the bar every day and drink alcohol. Well, that's not celebration, that's addiction that we talked in Burnout. But what celebration truly means is about that internal bliss, that internal happiness. And the great way of celebration is basically to bring that awareness, a sense of fulfillment for yourself. And that is the reason, and that should be the reason why we should celebrate, or why people should celebrate. So, it's about rewarding yourself, it's about making yourself aware that the things that you have done have made you achieve or made you be wherever you are. So rather than, we talk about affirmations, we talk about talking good things, we talk about morning routine, just bring celebration in your life. You will start having a positive mindset, you will start having a positive approach, you will start seeing things in a good way, and that automatically will build a mindset that you require to achieve success. That is my reason for celebration.
Absolutely, Sagar, because if we are focusing on those tiny bits of moments which brings that happiness in our life, automatically we become more positive. And the moment we become positive, we look at possibilities, we look at opportunities. And that's where we would really want to direct our brain so that we become more productive. And that's
Absolutely.
where that's where the next question is, like, why people don't celebrate it, why they wait for something to happen, why can't they be proactive in celebrating, why can't they be proactive in capturing those moments.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, that is your area, and I would love you to answer. you
so
you've
i
been you've been on that side, so I would love you to answer that.
so I was really pondering upon my thoughts on why people really wait for something to happen,
Okay.
because it's because we have been habituated for things to happen in our life.
Mm-hmm.
We just sit on it and let the life happen to us. That's not the nature that we are born with. If you remember, as a child, we always used to be happy in small, small things. We would be so happy in exploring the environment, exploring the nature, in looking at manipulating the toys and everything that's surrounding us. Because that's the nature, that's how we are designed. We as human being, that's the basic instinct, or I would say the fundamental joy that we have for the life is to just be happy, be who we are.
Mm-hmm.
What has happened over these years, sometimes we have forgotten the things that we have, the air that we are breathing, the food that we have, the clothes that we are wearing. There are so many things that we have simply forgotten, and we look out for that happiness because that's what we think, and we believe that if we are doing something in our life, we are doing this because at the end, ultimately, we'll get happiness. But we forget that the process of doing anything, the joy of not just achieving that part, but the joy of doing something, the very fact that you have those resources with you, the very fact that you have your loved ones with you, the very fact that you have people with you, and you are alive, that's the most amazing happiness that we have. We
True.
forget to celebrate that. And that's the reason we react to every situation that comes in our way. We don't look at the proactive part. We don't look at that we have things already with us. Why we are waiting for something to happen. Yes, sir, over to you.
So in that, I would say that, people might look at us as saints because we're talking about the air we breathe or the life we live. Let me make it more materialistic for them and bring that angle, so that they don't think us as saints or sages or people from Himalaya, because we are neither monks, we are neither sages. We are people who are living with family. We are talking about an integrated life, which is you live in the family, you be with the family, you work, you enjoy with the people that you're working, and you have an integrated life. And within that integrated life, you celebrate. So we are not talking as monks,
Yeah.
we're not talking about gurus, we are not preachers. We are as simple human being as you all are. We are same as you. So having said that, let's talk about very very small things. When we used to get a desktop 15 years ago, or Diwali, we used to get new clothes, new shoes. We used to get sweets at home. We used to go out for holiday, or maybe in just in a garden. I remember going to a garden, and I used to have poha, a delicacy that is made in India for people who are listening outside, or something that I used to get to eat as maybe a chocolate, or as low as just a Pepsi Cola, which is just a ice thing which is colored or flavored. We used to feel happy. We used to celebrate. Getting a color TV at home was a celebration. Okay, and the celebration would happen in many ways. Getting a small mobile phone, or even forget mobile phone, getting a landline was a celebration, right? Remember, Bharti, we used to pay 1 rupee, 2 rupee
Yes.
to the neighbors to have the phone, and when we have the landline in our house, we used to feel rich, we used to feel happy, we used to celebrate it. Tell me, how many of you have purchased a new phone? Could be an iPhone, could be a OnePlus, could be a Samsung, and celebrated that? I don't think so. Why? Is because we are going through an effect which is actually increasing our greed, increasing our need of more and more. We are all running behind materialistic happiness, comparing what we have with others, and we are running a race to achieve that. You know what? Let's say you have a Maruti, you run a race, you get an Hyundai. You run a race for Mercedes, someone else has something else. It doesn't end. Does it end at Rolls Royce? Does it end at Lamborghini? Does it end at Bugatti? Does it end at, I don't know the names as well, but does it really have an end? No. Even after you have all the cars, some might come with an helicopter, private jet, private aeroplane, private, so many things, yacht, jetty, island. Where does it really end? And when does it really end? There's no end to it. And that is exactly where Bharti brings the point, that be happy with what you have does not mean we are telling you to be content, we are telling you to be satisfied. What Bharti is trying to tell you here, or what am I trying to bring as a point here, is create celebration, create moments, so that the mind that you have remains very, very fertile. The mind that you have remains curious, and you start getting happiness in small things. There are so many times someone gives us a bouquet, we just smile and keep. Do we even think about celebrating that? We don't. Now, that is where we need to learn to celebrate for even the smallest things, right? And that is where we are telling you to celebrate. That is a reason for you to celebrate, because that feel good factor that you have from that celebration will boost you to achieve more, will boost you to, grow more, rather than just being in the race. Is what is happening is you are not able to enjoy the success that you're getting at every step. You will achieve success. What's the point? You look back and you've not celebrated. Think about it and let us know, why are you celebrating today, tomorrow, every day, and going forward every time? Yes, Bharti.
Absolutely, Sagar. What you mentioned is absolutely right. The first time when we had television in our house, I remember uh, the entire we used to live in a community space where all the houses are very close to each other, and
Yes.
the community is like a big, large, extended family. So the moment I remember the Sunday morning, the moment Ramayana or Mahabharata would start, all the neighborhood would come and they will be there at our living space where this television is. Close to 60, 65 people will be there in that small living room. The volume of the TV will be full, and we all are watching that particular serial together. Now, that was the joyous moment I remember as a child, celebrating that Sunday morning with all the neighbors and laughing, giggling, having fun for that 1 hour, and then they all go back homes. And we would again wait for the Sunday to come. And then there will be many such moments that started happening because there was one television which was almost like shared television for all of us. So those were the nice, joyous moments I remember. And what you also mentioned was absolutely right. Where all these things will end if we are only chasing materialistic things? Where would all these things end? And if you are looking at those things, are you celebrating this with everybody? Now, the moment you say that create your celebration, do you really create them? Do you really look for those moments where you want to capture them? And that's what when I saw my colleague in TCS doing this, I said that's an amazing way of celebrating birthday, celebrating life. So let me do that. And I started creating my birthdays, my celebrations with as many people as I can. And the I would say the norm that started happening is that instead of my family members would uh, give me any surprise, I started giving them surprises. On my birthday, I started giving them. I said, "Let's go. I have something amazing for you." And every morning will just every birthday morning will just go out. And I remember one such moment I created where I somehow found that there is an amazing farm, a beautiful big farm, which is where there are flowers, there are roses that are grown, and wherever your eyes goes, there are only flowers that you can see. Very close to the Baroda city, very outskirts of it. So we all went there and we were there for like 4 or 5 hours, just being there with the nature, being there with flowers, and amazing atmosphere it was. And we
Lovely.
really captured those moments. And all my family members, they were like, this is an amazing birthday that we have celebrated. And those are
Lovely.
the surprises that we started capturing for each other.
That's really nice. And when you remember those moments, the family connections, when you sit together and relive those moments, how many times we relive sitting with the old pictures, the old photographs, the printed ones,
Yeah.
And nowadays we all have a smartphone. We click
Yeah.
selfies, bummies, I don't know what not. Do we actually go back and watch them, or we just post them for people to see? That's a question for all of us to ponder. Are we creating visibility, or are we creating things for others, or are we actually celebrating our life? That brings us to a point for me to share my celebration today.
Yes.
Apart from the roller coaster ride that I had, or apart from whatever fun that I had the whole yesterday night, and the fun that this is the book I'm sure you would all have seen on my website, or on Amazon, on Kindle, on Flipkart. This is my second book, The Key, which talks about 26 proven ways to build the productive mindset. So, what are we celebrating in that? Well, it's Amazon India number one bestseller in its own
Yeah.
category. And that is something which I'm celebrating. Apart from that, let's play some dance music so we can have that fun. And apart from that, let me check it. Yeah, we can have some music. We can celebrate it. So if you're listening to us, if you're there, you can groove in for a minute, have a celebration done, and just have some fun.
Lovely, lovely, Saga. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Well, We enjoyed
Lovely.
something. The second
Yes.
Thank you, Bharti. The second celebration, I would let Bharti open that surprise for all of you. I am sure she is a part of my wolf pack. She's a part of the gang, and she is more happy than me. And she was the one who has pushed me to do that. Of course, the message came from Srijata that you guys have to do it. So thank you, Srijata, back in USA. But yes, Bharti, you can share that, and we can celebrate that.
Yes, so the celebrating moment, the fantastic, amazing news is that Sagar is a professional member of APSS, which is Asia's Professional Speakers Association at Singapore, and he's
Woohoo!
a professional member now, and that calls for a big, big, big party. So congratulations, Sagar. That's called
Absolutely.
for a
Thank you
celebration.
so much. It is definitely a celebration. I'm in Hyderabad, but I'm going to
Yeah.
be there. And next, we will have a good celebration and we will go out for a good thing. But you know what, Bharti? What surprised me again? The post that we shared on LinkedIn. Most of our
Uh-huh.
friends engaged with a lot of love, and they shared how they celebrate, what they celebrate, what celebration means to them. But there was something common in most of the answers, and that fascinated me. That does celebration only mean cooking for others, taking out for a meal, going out for a dinner, or cooking for yourself? While, no offense, lovely gestures, lovely moments shared, but isn't isn't it happening with every one of us that we want to celebrate? Let's go out for dinner. Why can't celebration be a candlelight dinner at a house? Now I remember, I'm going to open the secret thing, uh, about two daughters, two lovely daughters, Disha and Diva. They actually planned something for their parents on their anniversary, and they created the whole house with lot of lights, lot of flowers, lot of decoration. Now when I say the house is not huge, the house is not big, but the hearts are big. The creativity, which Frederick Hadden talks about, the girls were creative. They created a moment, they created a picture, they created a picturestic approach for them, which was a blackout room, a table decorated like a seven-star hotel, two waiters, both daughters taking orders and serving the parents. And then what I'm talking about, or whom I'm talking about, is none other than Bharti and her husband celebrating their anniversary, celebrating it in the house with family, and enjoying a candlelight dinner, having a dance after that, opening up a bottle of champagne, what not they did on that night. And that was just a family celebrating it together. And I could never forget it. When she sent me the photographs, I was like, wow.
Oh yes, I we too will always remember this because this was during COVID times. We were all in the house. We were not going out. We were taking all precautions, and the anniversary date came during that time, and we thought, how are we going to celebrate this? We are not going out for dinners or any which ways. Now here is what both the daughters did. They said that we will make it special, we will create something special, but they didn't say what it is. So they did every bit of it. If I have to tell you, the first way that we celebrate, the first thing that we spoke about in the episode, attention to detail. So they went into every minutest detail of 7 course meal and the entire candlelight dinner for us, right from creating an ambience, uh, having that flowers, going into the details of what I like, what uh, my husband loves it. So they put everything on the table and they
Wow.
started serving. In fact, my younger daughter, she dressed as a a person who would serve us as a waiter. My elder daughter, she wore a chef coat and said, okay, I'm at your service and we will serve you. And they started with cheese platter with all the starters and then following to the main course, dessert, soup. They were like outstanding. We'll never forget. Those are the moments that are so refreshed. And thank you for sharing this. Now all the memories are like so fresh in front of my eyes because uh, It was not only about that day that we celebrate. It was about the family togetherness. It was about the love for the children, love that children showed for their parents. It was also about to what extent, how far you can go to make somebody feel so special about it, even with the limited resources you have. So they actually went ahead to design the menu and they started putting up here. They said you need to scan the QR code and you see the menu, what's there. And I was like, my God, when did you get time to do all these? They said, no, we were doing the preparations few days before. So those were the happy, joyous moments.
So actually, the celebration started few days before for them. Imagine the
Yes.
amount of, the secrecy, keeping it
Oh,
secret.
yes.
I mean, so many amazing moments, right? So now
Yes.
that we've talked about it, we shared, me and Bharati shared with you that what can you celebrate as family functions, but why only limit it to COVID? Why can't we do it in a regular day?
Yeah.
Why only limit those kind of celebrations during COVID? So I'm going to read out some points from the book that I shared, the key, and tell you what all you can celebrate, right? Personal achievements like birthdays, anniversaries, the one that I said is becoming a professional member, or a book, children's achievement in school. Now that's not a competition that you should do, but even participating in that competition that your child has done, celebrate it. Don't make a big celebration out of it and give him a false indication. Again, that's not the right parenting that I would suggest. But at the same time, keep it subtle, but celebrate with him that, oh wow, you celebrated it, you made this drawing. Give them some chocolate or play with them. You don't need to always indulge in eating. You can play with them that today dad is going to play with you, today mommy is going to play with you, or today you help us in cooking. Let them make some good cooking, some rotis, and celebrate with them, or some personal goals. Now, here, when I talk about personal goals, it's not always the big goals, even the small goals. Like, it took me 16 hours from Surat to reach to Hyderabad because of derailment of the train, catching a bus getting breakdown, catching an auto, missing the flight, rebooking the flight, all that. But I was celebrating every step as I was coming closer to my journey. I could have approached it in a very sad way. Oh, I missed the train's cancelled. Oh, the bus is broken down. Oh, the rickshaw is going and I'm getting wet because of the monsoon. Oh, I missed the flight. What would have happened? I would have even drained my energy. Instead, I said, wow, at least I've reached this far. Let me find something else and reach further. Wow, I reached here. Let me find something else and check further. And that is what you need to keep doing. You need to keep preparing yourself for something coming up next and celebrate something that you have achieved. And celebration was, I was just texting my wife, hey, I've reached here, hooray, I've just did. And that was a celebration. I don't need to go out and celebrate and do that, but just sharing it with her. Talking to my clients that, I've delayed, I'm not able to attend the call on the time, and they telling me that, oh, no problem, we understand. That was a celebration, because someone understanding your feeling is a celebration, isn't it? That is where you celebrate. You can also celebrate organization milestones that I'm reading from the book, like a founders day, something as significant as selling the 1,000 product, 100 product, a 10 million product, achieving any specific goal as a team, or purchasing or acquiring a new startup, a new venture, or obtaining funds. That could be a thing which is going on now as a venture capitalist or a founder. You can also have employee milestones, someone completing 1 year, 3 year, 5 years, 7 years, 25 years, and so on, or achieving KPIs, achieving KRAs. When we don't achieve KPIs and KRAs, we ask them to do a root cause analysis, to do a kappa. But when they achieve that, do we celebrate? No, we just say, good job. Celebrate it. Write a note for them. Give them a card. Make it special for them. Order a bouquet. Do something special. And the list goes on. If you want to read, you can check out chapter number 3, and the list goes on. And trust me when I say the list goes on, it goes on. So it's 26 chapters. Each chapter is just 1 or 2 page, and there's no masala in the book. It's directly to the point with points listed down. All you need to do is keep it at your desk. You're stuck at any point, just open the page, read the thing, and you're sorted. Which means it's not something as a meaty book that I'm giving you, but it's a very short, crisp, reference guide is what I would call, which should be on your table. And that's how you can celebrate. These are the list from my side that you can celebrate. But I'm sure the proactivity queen has something up to tell us what are the ways that we can plan to celebrate. Yes, Bhati.
That's so amazing, Sagar, that all the 26 ways are in this book, so they can simply capture them. They can go through it, and trust me, I've been through that. I've gone through the book, 2 pages, and you're done. And they're so simple, so straight that you can simply go and apply it. So kudos to Sagar for that amazing book. I want to ask one question. Like, if, for example, if you're going for a business meeting, all right, now this
Mhm.
is for all the professionals, all the corporates who have business meetings throughout with their suppliers, vendors, with their clients. So when you have that business meeting, how can you celebrate that business meeting? Is there a way to celebrate it?
Okay.
Do you know, or have you done it ever? So I'll give you an example which happened a couple of months back with me. I went for a business meeting with a CEO and MD of American Steel, and I exchanged some of the discussions points that we had. It went to the point where he wanted my proposal, and I said, okay, these are the points that I'll incorporate, and I'll send you my proposal. Now, generally, what happens when you meet the first time with a prospective client, and he started knowing me better. He started knowing me what are my strengths and what do I do in my life. Generally, what happens? You shake hands when you say goodbye, and if you have gone with something as a business card or a brochure, you give that, and maybe they also give it in exchange. That's what happens. Now, here's what he did. He gave me a nice small plant with a flower. And he said, this is a joyous moment for me to meet you for the first time. And as a token of gesture, as a token of appreciation that we met today, this is the token of love for you, a small plant with a flower. And I was so happy that he celebrated that moment with me and he said, it's just my happiness that I want to share, and that's why this is. Now, a business meeting turned to be a celebrating moment for both of us. And I will remember it for my life. He would remember that for his life. That how he made the person feel special, how he made the person feel that, yes, this is a gift from me to you. And that's the business meeting became so cherishable. Now, if in the corporates we are looking at such moments that we can capture, that will be an amazing, amazing, interesting ways because you need to create those moments, you need to plan it. And that's why when we say that prepare whatever situations comes in your way, be prepared about those situations and be ready for the moments. Look at those tiny joyous moments that will help you to not focus on something that's negative, not focus on something that is pulling you down, but something that is pushing you upwards and that is giving you happiness. When you plan it, you really know that what you are creating in your life. Because we are talking about the integrated life. So, what you're creating in your life, you need to plan it well. And when you have planned it, you need to execute what you're planning. So, what I'm talking about is the PPE kit, which is prepare, plan, and execute. And when you apply that PPE kit in your life, you are capturing those moments and celebrating the integrated life that you have. And that celebration could be any moments that Sagar mentioned. You may not need to go for the major ones. You may look for the smaller, tiny ones. You may also look at those small, tiny moments that comes in your life when you are sitting at your desk, when you're working, and an email comes in. Oh, that calls for a celebration. But how would I celebrate it? You don't have to call 10 people. You can just call one person, which is special. You can call one person and share that happiness and that celebration. That's what Sagar did today by calling and messaging his wife saying that, oh, I reached at this place. And she was happy too. Exchange of those words brought happiness in both of their lives. And that calls for celebration. So celebrations can be with yourself, it can be with two people, it can be with four, it can be with So many of choice is yours. What you want to choose. How do you want to look at your life? Do you really want to look at it in an integrated way? Or do you really want to look at it as it comes by? So
Lovely.
if you are being proactive, you will use your PPA kit. Yes, Sagar.
Oh, that is gold for today. PPE kit for celebration. Prepare, plan, and execute. Well, that's awesome, Bharti. That is really, really awesome. And that is what I'm going to carry for my whole day or whole life. I love when you create these acronyms. You know, you gave me AAA formula just a few days ago that you need to be aware. And once you're aware, you need to accept. Once you accept, you need to get into action mode to do anything that you want. Similarly, I had an acronym that we created about aim, that, be aware, invest, and, have the motivation to do that. Today, PPE kit, which was negative, talking about COVID, talking about all those situations of COVID that we all remember PPE kit for. Today, we will all remember PPE kit for celebration. Celebration that we are alive, celebration that we are waking up tomorrow, celebration that we are seeing our family members every single day. But what is PPE kit? Be prepared, be proactive, plan and execute. Kudos. Thank you so much for giving that to us. Now, having said all that, we need to understand that if you don't celebrate, you are actually getting into a zone of lack of gratitude, lack of appreciation for your own self. You enter the world of hunger, you get into the world of greed, you actually get into the rat race. And that, my friend, is very, very dangerous. So start celebrating, start sharing what you celebrate. And if you really want to know how you can do that, we have made it easy for you.
Yeah.
The link here is theintegratedlife.co.in celebrate dash 2. Just go to this link, watch the video again. If you want to be our guest, you can share it with other people, you can share it with your friends and family. But download this checklist completely free, no strings attached, no marketing, no spamming, nothing. We don't even want to email you, because once you go down, enter your details, and click on download, you download it just right there. We don't send you any email and nothing as of now. Why? Because we want you to have no string attached data from us. We want to actually help you live the integrated life. And that is the reason why we are doing this live show. We are sharing all these content with you. We are sharing this checklist with you because we want you to enjoy those moments, create those happy moments. So, what is the checklist about? The checklist is only about giving you time to reflect on what you want to celebrate, why would you want to celebrate, what did you do in the last celebration, and what does your ideal celebration look about, and many such more questions. So go right now, take your copy and download your copy of the checklist, celebrate it, and if you consider us your friends, share the celebration with us, and we would be happy to celebrate it with you. What do you say, Bharti?
Absolutely, Sagar. So when you go to this website, theintegratedlife.co.in, you will look at episodes 1, 2, 3. If you have missed by any chance any of the episode, you can watch it. There's just click on episode 1 and you can go and watch it. You want to download the PDF, you can go and download the PDF of episode 1, 2, and more important is today's PDF, because that is the PDF that talks about celebrations. And me and Saga, we would love to know, how are you celebrating your life? How are you doing what you're doing in your celebrations? What is the celebration about? And we'll be very happy to listen to you. We'll be happy to read your celebrating moments. And that's what will bring it to the integrated life, because when we are talking about celebrations, we are increasing our happy hormones, and that is important because the more you increase your happy hormones, your focus, your direction, everything goes in a positive manner. Because when we are positive, what rightly mentioned, Sagar, that we become more productive. We start looking at those opportunities. We start looking at those opportunities, possibilities that are coming in our way. And that's why it's important to increase those happy hormones inside us. And we really don't have to wait for those special days. You create those special days by putting up that PPE kit. That's it. It's as simple as that. You don't have to do big things. You can do it in a very small things like what our children they did, and you can still have the same PPE kit with you.
So,
Yes.
Bharti, why don't we end this show with a little music that you
Oh
and me
yes.
both love, and we've enjoyed it during TSS, if you recall what I'm going to play.
Oh yes. Yes, I remember.
Let's groove for like few seconds and then we'll shut it down. And till then, we'll meet you soon. Thank you very much for joining us. You can groove wherever you're joining us from and
Jerusalema
celebrate.
ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami.
My God, you
So,
brought those amazing fond memories of TSS, Professional Speaker Summit Live.
absolutely. Okay, Bharti.
So,
So thank you very much for joining me today. And thank you everyone for joining us today. And we will be back next Tuesday, same time, same place, with a new episode. And till then, celebrate.
yes, celebrate every moment of your life because life is precious and you are worth it. So, celebrate your life. See you next Tuesday, same time, 9 p.m. Sagar and me. Till then, have a wonderful time. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.